Changing cars in Memphis, Tennessee.
Welcome back, Airbnb family. Today, we're going to talk about a discussion that has been passed around in my social circle lately, which is whether it's better to go for equity or cash flow when buying your first Airbnb home. Now, I have a very strong opinion on this, and I'm sure plenty of you do on either side of the fence. But mine is going to mess with you here. My opinion, don't buy a home. Don't buy a single property if you want to be an Airbnb host. And there's a very good reason for this. We're going to jump right into it. It's a very simple math problem. If you want to have multiple Airbnb properties and be successful as a business, don't buy your home. So here we go. Let's say you are buying your first investment property. You need 20% down because it's a non-FHA. You're not going to live there. You're going to run out the entire place on Airbnb, which means since you're not living there, it's an investment property, 20% down. So let's say you buy a $250,000 home with 2 bedrooms and you're $50,000 down. You also need to upgrade it possibly and furnish it. So you're looking at potentially $70,000 a month before you're live on Airbnb. Now, that 2-bedroom property will profit you maybe $5,000, and that is including your equity because you have to pay property taxes, utilities, pay for your cleaner, etc. And in this example, the other person is going to pay for their cleaners too, so let's keep it even. So you're going to make maybe $6,200 to $6,500 a month on your 2-bedroom, and your profit after all the costs will be $5,000, including your equity. So $70,000 in, $5,000 a month out. Okay, that's the homeowner side. Now, I rent my property. I furnish them, and then I short-term rent them. Now, let me tell you what I do with my $70,000 in this situation. I get 10 properties, right? It costs me about $7,000 per. That includes my cost of getting my first lease, the furniture, everything. Okay, so at 10 properties, my rents are probably about $1,500 on average. With my utility costs, $1,650. I don't have to pay property taxes. Everything's worked into the rent. And I don't have to worry about insuring my appliances. The landlord has to fix the appliances if they break, things like that. So $1,650 in costs, plus my cleaner costs. I make about $3,000 a month on my property. So let's say, just conservatively, I make $900 per unit. So 10 units, that's $9,000 a month, where homeowner with their $70,000 is now making $5,000 per month. So you can see I'm already ahead by $4,000 a month, but it doesn't even end there. So the cool thing about doing rentals is you can grow in smaller increments. The moment I have another $7,000, I can put another property and have 11, right? So first month I make $9,000. I can put $7,000 towards another property. I make another grand my second month. I can put another property down. My third month, I make another $9,000. I can get almost 2 more properties my third month. So by end of month 3, I'm looking at about 14 properties, which is outstanding. The person who owns the home, they need to actually make profit for 14 months before they have $70,000 again, before they can get their second property. Now, some of you homeowners are going to say, well, I gain valuation on my property because it's going to appreciate in value by like 3% on average a year. Well, let's factor that in. So let's say that your $250,000 home makes 3% a year. You're looking at about $7,000 a year in appreciation. So let's break that up to like $650 a month in appreciation. So you're making $5,000. Now let's add the $650. So you're making $5,650 per month, including your appreciation. I'm still making $9. I'm still whooping you there. But let's talk about housing bubbles, right? You could lose money on your property. This could actually happen. Also, you could buy a home in a terrible part of town that's not good for Airbnb, which means you own it, you're going to have to sell it or turn it into a regular rental property, which is not why we're here. We're here to make more money than that. If I get a property where I lose money, which I've done before, I just cut the lease, right? I'll even buy it out early if I really want to get out of it fast. So at worst case scenario, I'm stuck with a property for a year. But it makes me more agile. I'm in, I'm out, I find the right neighborhoods, and I make all my money that way. And I do this completely legally. We're going to actually cover this in a very recent, very near future video. I'm going to actually show you the legal process that I take to pick up all of my leases. And homeowners or property management companies, they can't do anything about it. They are stuck with me, at least to the end of the lease. So we're going to talk about that later, and this is going to be the secret to making your fortune on Airbnb. But to keep on topic here, don't buy your property. It's sluggish, it's slow, you need way too much money to get in initially. Now, your money's stuck in your property if you have to turn it into a regular rental, which is no fun. It's just not nearly as profitable. And it's a little harder to manage too because you're stuck replacing your own appliances. So I don't. If a stove breaks, I'm like, hey, maintenance, come in, fix my stove. Thank you, goodbye. And it's a lot easier for me to track my expenses too, because everything's kind of rolled into my lease agreements. So if you have any other questions kind of on this topic, or maybe even like just some fast facts on like how to host certain ways, if you have certain problems that you've had with guests or with your listings, feel free to leave me a comment below. I'll be happy to help you out. You just let me know what you need, leave the comment. Now, like this video, share it with your friends, and of course, if you want more content like this, you subscribe, more is coming. And I promise you, very soon, I'm going to teach you the legal way that I picked up my 20 properties without owning a single one. So thank you for watching Airbnb Automated. I will see you on the other side.
Changing cars and